Greetings, everyone. I'm your host, Deji. With me, joined today by Pedro.
Yay.
Shiroi.
Hi.
And Jova.
Woo!
And today we're here for our second Pokemon podcast. Name pending. I'll probably edit it in as we go along. Because we still can't decide a name.
Pokemon Paradox Podcast. And what better time to talk about paradoxes or catastrophes or the world ending than the big old Millennium title?
Yeah. So, in case what you don't know, what we do here is that our goal is to watch every Pokemon movie and special and rank them.
Yes.
Give it a score of out of 10. And then we'll see which is the best, which is the worst, which are just okay.
Well, in that case...
Today's movie, he is... Pedro, do the honors.
Pokemon 2000, The Power of One.
You know what? Joe would do it, because that...
do you want me to do the Japanese title? The Japanese title? The Japanese title is Pokemon...
Yeah. Joe, say the English title.
Pokemon 2000, The Power of One!
Alright, and in Japanese?
Excuse me, Jova, I think you mean Pokemon Revelation Lugia, actually.
Pocket Monsters, Revolution Lugia.
Yeah, Pocket Monsters, I wanted to,
which is actually a pretty cool name.
Honestly, whichever title you go with, it's not gonna save the movie. Yeah, okay! Pokemon 2000, aka that movie that people used to like, aka that movie that people used to hate, aka that movie that
people
nowadays...
used to hate this? Wait. Who used to hate this?
Okay. Let me put it like this.
Besides critics in the 90s, because they hated everything.
This movie is way too mediocre to even warrant any hate.
Let me put it like this, Dad. At some point around the time of Gen 3 of Pokemon, there was a huge hype backlash against this film. Like, okay, when this film first came out, it was actually quite a darling amongst the fan base. Sure, yeah, critics may have hated it, but it was kind of more a case of critics hating everything as opposed to legit disliking of it. Don't get me wrong, this movie has plenty of problems, but no. This movie was liked until people started to see the cracks, and then there was a massive hype backlash against it. Nowadays, people just see it as the one that's just there out of the original trilogy, but yeah, there was once a time when
I don't know, I feel like you're making this up.
No, trust me, I don't remember when it was, but I do recall there was a point where people did hate this movie. I think it was
happened. I promise you, I don't remember when, but it did.
Trust me, I swear.
To be fair, Deds, you've also done that too. My point is this movie's been up and down and all around with the reception, but nowadays it's just regarded as, oh, that happened. Also,
but anyway,
also insert your typical they skipped 1,998 films to get to this joke.
Carry on, Dutch.
Who wants to do a plot summary?
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Basically, this takes place during the Orange Islands arcs. What's that, you may ask? The one time where Ash won a tournament. Until Sun and Moon. But whatever, we're here at the Orange Islands. Everyone is here enjoying a wonderful day, peace is blooming, everything is going just fine, until some jackass with a giant ship decides, you know what, I'm gonna go collect me some magical chickens so that I can awaken this magical dove swan from the water called Lugia.
Excuse me, Jova. I think you mean disturb the harmony between the fire god, the ice god, and the light and the thunder god in order to awaken the ocean god, please.
No, he's going to steal some chickens.
They're legendary chickens.
You have to realize that this came out before, Gen 2, Gen 3, etc., before the Pokemon lore got...
For the record audience, I'm talking about the Japanese version. The Japanese version, they're called... The Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos are the gods, and Lugia is the ocean god. So they're gods, but of course 4Kids had to change that because we don't want to reference religion in a kids' movie. Go ahead.
May I remind you that these supposed gods could be found in such rudimentary places as an electrical power plant in Gen 1. But, yeah, no. There's totally
You can find
this
Mew under a
mystical
truck.
But, no. They're totally these mystical beings. So, anyway, basically, Moltres gets captured, and so our plot begins. And we open up with a boat ride by a lot of our characters. And I'll admit, as a kid, this is where I started to get a bit confused, because while I did watch the show, I wasn't keeping up with it enough to the point. So, I'll admit, I was a bit confused with some of the Pokemon changes and the fact that Charizard was actually listening to Ash during the movie.
This
Well, to be
actually
fair, there's a
comes-
reason for it,
Jeez.
but go ahead.
Because this comes out chronologically. This takes place after Charizard chills.
Yes.
Yep.
What I'm saying is
But
that
anyway,
if you
get to the
weren't
point.
following the show, you'd be confused. But yeah. Anyways, the Pokemon are about, but then a storm hits, which... Oh god, just like in the first movie, a storm brings our heroes to an interesting island
Yeah,
location.
isn't that crazy how it's always a storm? I'm
weather
sure
changes.
no other movie.
You know that Rayquaza really sucked at his job before he was invented.
Seriously, dude, get on to fixing that stuff.
The weather
But-
changing is apparently
No.
a sign of the apocalypse. I don't know.
So they wash up on the island where clearly they will be inducting about a fire festival. I mean, a festival that's not a colossal failure. One meant to honor this stuff here and there. And Ash comes about a new love interest who honestly is probably a better character than Misty will ever be. Don't at me.
No, I never liked Misty.
essentially-
Wait, before we do that, can we talk about how the girl who rides the boat, Marin, I believe her name is, she looks just like the Gen 2 protagonist, the male one.
Does she? Oh god.
Well, then,
please.
Jova,
Well,
I
what?
want you to. I'm going to post the picture right now, and I
Well,
want you to
Deji.
tell me.
Well, Deji, to be
You tell
fair,
me she does not look like Ethan.
well, Deji, to be fair, Ken Sugimori has been drawing characters for the series for how long at this point? He's bound to repeat himself once in a while.
This is
So
the
what you-
second movie.
So what you're saying is that this is Ethan after a sex change.
No, this is his sister.
I was gonna say cousin.
Oh,
All right, Joven, why don't you talk about?
Let's just go with the sex change. That's better for the weapon.
Carry on,
anyway,
Joven. Talk
Pedro.
about Melody because I have an interesting thing about the Japanese version of her scene, of her introduction scene. Carry
So
on.
yeah, Melody, the let's call her chieftain's daughter, even though it's really more of a tourism thing, it takes a very good, interesting shine to Ash, who Misty insists is not her boyfriend. So Melody goes in, and of course Misty acts extra jealous. And Ash is apparently hosted as the quote-unquote chosen one, which, as the chieftain says, it's just for the tourist kids. Totally not foreshadowing. However, in
By
the
the way,
meantime...
if you'll allow me a quick part about the Japanese version of that scene. Yes, 4Kids changed the script where they make it so that, you're his girl, and Mrs. like, gross. I don't think so. I think he's pretty cute and everything. So basically, in the English version, Melody has a crush on Ash, but not in the Japanese. In the Japanese version, here's what she actually says. Misty actually says, gross, and then Melody says, well, considering you, considering you came all the way here with a guy, you must have no taste. So there you go. Melody literally says that Misty has no taste for liking Ash. So there you go.
I mean, she's not wrong.
I mean, look.
I wish they kept that. That would have been
You know
better.
what? You know what?
Can I talk about how the differences between scripts is more interesting than the movie itself?
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, in the English dub, Melody takes quite a shine to Ash, and I won't lie, she could have been an interesting love interest, but more on that after we're done with the synopsis. So, in the meantime, though, Pikachu has been acting very strange, almost borderline mad at the weather. And it's not just Pikachu. Pokemon apparently all over the world have been acting strange here and there. Why, even back at Professor Oak's, the Pokemon are acting strange. Almost like it's a premonition of stuff to come.
So that's your question. Are we going to address the elephant in the room?
Go on.
The Krabby line?
That's
But I've got Krabbies.
It's meant to be a pun on a Pokemon.
I know, but it kind of comes off like a different thing.
It was probably unintentional on one of those.
For the record,
aged poorly.
For kids, it was definitely
yeah.
unintentional.
For the record, in the Japanese version, she only says "so true, so true."
So, anyway, yeah, festival's going on. Oh yeah, Tracy's here. Back to something that actually matters.
Okay. Can we talk about how lame of a character Tracy is? Like, even out of all of Ash's companions, even the ones that we don't like, they at least had something. What do you do? I draw. Okay. Anything else? I draw.
Like the movie.
Okay.
He's just kind of there.
The controversy with Tracy is that here was a new Caucasian male replacing the one character of color, Brock, essentially, and he lacked pretty much any personality.
Ash is Japanese.
Yeah, I know.
Satoshi.
Same thing with Misty.
His name is Satoshi.
Everyone they're all from Kanto. They're all Japanese.
To be fair, Dej, are they Japanese in the localization? Regardless.
The reason why they replaced Brock is because he felt like he was offensive, even though realistically even though he was made, it's a Japanese show. So I was like, that makes no sense. But also, then they realized, oh wait, people actually like him. Okay.
So basically, they're saying that the Ken Sugimori is xenophobic against himself.
I don't get it. It's not like in Dragon Ball where that one guy from the Red Ribbon Army the black guy had big lips. It's like, it's not that.
Like, okay. Obviously, I know that they weren't being racist, but it did come off as that, seeing as how, again, the one person of apparent skin color other than white got booted off the show here. I'm just pretty much pointing out why people saw it like that, and it wasn't a good look. Thankfully, they brought Brock back later, and even when he did leave the show again, at least the next time they replaced him, it was with someone better than Tracy. Don't worry, folks.
They replaced him with a white guy.
No, that's it. I said somebody better than Tracy. Like, yeah, it was a white guy, but at least this one had more personality. Like we've mentioned, Tracy sucked. He really sucked.
He's basically just bland as fuck.
And don't get me wrong, I didn't care for them replacing him with a white guy, but at least they also included a black girl too. But whatever.
That everyone hated because she was just Misty 2.0.
We are getting way ahead of ourselves.
Go on. Go with the plot.
So anyway, though, the storm then arrives at the island, and news pops up. And Ash, in his ever wonderful wisdom, decides, time to do that challenge thing. Well, okay, to be fair, that's mainly Pikachu leading him off by taking his hat. Pikachu's kind of a dick.
But to be fair, he was gonna go regardless. It's like, I want to do it.
So Pikachu's just kind of being a dick.
Yeah, Pikachu basically literally takes Ash's hat to drag him to get straight up and immediately go get the spheres. But before Jova gets to describing what happens in the actual quest itself, let me just quickly mention something about the dinner scene. In the Japanese version, Ash, of course, turns to Kazumi. That's Misty's Japanese name, for those who don't know. And he asks...
Please stick with the English names, please.
Sure. I feel like it would be a nice curiosity for those who don't know. But anyway,
there's nothing wrong with educating people, Dej.
Education is a good thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
Betsy asks, so are you coming? And in the Japanese version, she says, who? I'm not your sister, your girlfriend, or your bodyguard. And that's it. That's all she says. Here's what 4Kids changed this into. That's very problematic line. She says, and I quote, "No thank you. If you want something that does what you want when you want, you need to get yourself a girlfriend."
So anyway...
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Are we just going to ignore the elephant in the room?
Yes we are. And we're going to move right on ahead.
We're ignoring that one like we did the other one. Let's go.
Hey,
cowards.
By the way, speaking of stuff we forgot to mention, Team Rocket are also in this movie. They
But they're
won't really.
useful this time. Vaguely, but they are.
True, yeah, but we haven't gotten to the point where
This is the
they'll be
last
useful.
time they'll ever be useful.
Wait, hold on. They helped out in the Pokemon the Third movie.
One scene!
They still helped out. It counts, damn it. But
Alright, let's keep going.
anyway, so yeah, basically, folks, the main premise of this movie is that Ash is supposed to be the savior of the world, so feel free to write your requiems for that.
We're all doomed.
Don't worry. When we get to the point where it's revealed that he's the chosen one, I'll have some stuff to say about that. Carry on.
Wasn't that kind of... Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah. So anyway, so Ash and Ethan, with a sex change, goes over to the Thunder Island where Zapdos hangs out. Essentially go up the stairs. Oh, wait, hold on. But yeah, of course, the boat crashes. They go up the stairs, Team Rocket follows, and we get probably the best joke in the film, where Team Rocket referenced the fact that they're on the big screen and Ash says, I gotta get this on video instead. That was nice. So anyway, Zapdos shows up, and he's apparently evil because he wants to just take over as much as he can now that Moltres is out. Was that different in the Japanese version, Pedro?
In the Japanese version, it's basically the same thing. He's just a dick. He wants to take over the island because, well, Moltres is not here. Might as well take over.
Oh, yeah. I
Pokemon
misspoke.
are assholes, seriously.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Yeah!
Seriously.
Oh,
Have you
yeah,
read the manga?
No.
Oh, okay, to be fair, I misspoke. It's actually the Fire Island that they go to, and Zapdos is chilling there because he's taking over,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, essentially, yeah, Zapdos shows up. Meanwhile, and this is where things start to get a little silly, Misty, Tracy, and Melody follow after Ash and Marin in another boat.
In a flying boat, for the record.
Yes, because in order
Flies
to follow...
upstairs!
Yes, in order to follow them, they actually use the sails to have it fly up the stairs.
Honestly, it's the least believable. It's the least bizarre thing in this entire franchise.
The sails don't even resemble anything like a paraglider or whatever.
Yeah.
They just look like normal boat sails, and it's like, this thing is going up/through stairs.
Oh, by the way,
About that.
By the way, aside
Go
from the
ahead.
credits, this is the last time we see Ethan with a sex change. So, bye, Marin.
About that, in that scene with the three of them going on the boat thing, 4Kids changed something in the dialogue too, because they keep constantly having this banter between Misty and Melody, where Melody's constantly teasing Misty about how she's Ash's girlfriend. In the Japanese version, the only thing she says is, "We got to save Satoshi-kun." Ash. We gotta save Ash, right? And then Misty's like, okay, let's go. So the whole throwing Bun at the shippers thing, that was entirely on 4Kids, basically.
Honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. I never dug the Ash and Misty ship. Like, for me, the only thing
Finally, someone that's normal.
The only bout of merit I've seen with it is, Misty was the original girl. Therefore, she's the one meant for Ash, which I've never dug that trope.
She's also Ash's most useless female companion.
And she's
she
a freaking
really
bitch.
is.
And she's a freaking bitch for reasons that I will explain later. Go on.
And I've still
Go
not
on.
forgiven her about the Togepi stuff either. That should have been Ash's Pokemon. But anyway, back to the plot.
You're gonna hate Go once you watch Journeys. I'm just letting you know if that's how
Also,
you
the
feel.
two of them clearly don't even get along on, like, a civil level. Like,
No, they don't.
So,
It's
anyway.
because they're boys and girls, but go on. There's also the Team Rocket talking about the opposite sex scene as well. And what was the difference in Japanese?
Look,
Yes.
I'll just say this.
I'll let Jova
Misty
get to this. Go ahead.
Misty Shtick was done better with other girls. I preferred May, Dawn, even Iris over Misty. And yes, I know the problems with Iris, but at least Iris got better. But
To answer Deji's question about the whole opposite sex thing, here's what happens in the Japanese version of that scene where they meet Team Rocket. Mrs. Olek, he's always like that. Now you know how bad I have it. And then Frula, that's Melody's Japanese name, by the way, says, I get it. You're following him around because you like him, right? See, there you go. It's in this scene that Melody realizes, so the reason you hang out with this guy is because you like him. So I actually prefer this particular way of handling things, where instead of just the constant teasing thing, instead it's more so something that she starts. Oh, is it because you like him?
Hey,
it feels a bit more natural to me the way that it's written in this particular subplot is written in the Japanese version.
Hey, Dej.
Mhm.
It was at that moment that that Ash's childhood friend Serena felt a disturbance in the force.
and here's the thing that Deji asked about. Jesse says, "Enough. Why are you talking about love-hate relationships between brats? You're 10 years too early." And James replies, "Even we still don't talk about it." And then Meowth's like, "Whatever. You guys are lovey all the time anyway."
I mean, considering how they have kids in the manga, yeah, sure.
There is something weird about Team Rocket because sometimes they're like, oh, they're adults. Sometimes they're teenagers. So it's just very inconsistent about their age.
There was a
varies between like localizations, doesn't it?
There was a point, Shiroi, where in the Japanese version, Shiroi, there was a point in time where Jessie was officially 17 years old, even though that doesn't make a sense.
Both of them look like 25 at least. Like.
Yep.
But anyway, I'll just say this. I find it funny that they do all this ship teasing, seeing as how nowadays Ash finally does have a canon relationship. It's just so funny in hindsight. Especially since apparently Ash had this crush about him from years ago. But anyway, back to the plot. So, evil-looking
They get the
Yami...
Ash... They get the first... Like, when Zapdos comes in, they get the fur... and gets captured. They get the... What was it? The Fire
The
Stone.
fire, yeah. No, Dad. The Firestone is used to evolve a Pokemon. Actually, did they ever give a name to those mystical stone ball things?
They're the
they did. Hold on, I'm on the wiki.
In the Japanese version, they're called treasures.
Generic enough for you, Japan?
That's the thing
That's
about
just the translation. Like it's
They're
probably one of
called
those things that
spheres.
sound.
Well, that's the thing, Joey. The thing you have to understand
Dad, are they called crystal spears?
No, it's Fire Sphere, Electric Sphere, Ice Sphere.
Okay. So anyway, so they get that, but then I'm gonna call him Evil Yami look-alike because...
Wait, you mean Lawrence the Third?
Yeah, like...
Because that's his name. According to the credits, his name is Lawrence the Third.
You know, you gotta love movies that never bother to actually mention the names of a character in story.
Be sure to tell me when you get to the point where Ash and his group is captured by him, because I have a lot to say about that scene. Carry on.
Oh, well, we're about to get to that. So he captures Zapdos, and then also decides to capture the boat with the people.
He doesn't realize it though till after, apparently.
That, you gotta love a plot where literally the only way it gets along is because the bad guy made an oopsie. Because technically they would have been stuck on that island when you think about it. Baron's boat was wrecked across it, and I highly doubt that boat was going to get off that island.
Can I talk about how Lawrence the Third is by far one of the all-time most boring antagonists in the Pokemon franchise? Like he's literally a nothing villain.
Where do we begin?
Because his goal is, I just want to collect these legendary Pokemon and add them to my collection.
Use Pokeballs.
No,
don't worry, Jova. Believe it or not, Jova, I'll address that. Carry on.
Actually, yeah, we're about to get to that scene. So anyway, Lawrence the Third, or Yami look-alike, essentially now confronts our heroes, and you'd think he'd just do the sensible thing and let them go or something.
No, he just captures them and keeps them in his ship.
You do know you could get arrested for this, my dude.
He's rich. He doesn't care.
Like, seriously though. So apparently he says that all this
Jova. I'll answer what you just said with a quote from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It's a shame rich megalomaniacs are immune from the law. Otherwise, we could just call the police.
Giovanni should be arrested by now.
Okay, to be fair, Giovanni is a guy who's clever enough to dodge the law. This guy's a doofus.
No, he's clever enough to dodge the law because who's there? For 4 kids and 2 criminals with him? Ooh, whoop-de-doo. And he's on an island that nobody cares about? Yeah.
a floating giant ship which he claims started from a Pokemon training card. Buy now for the Mew starter pack.
Yeah,
No,
basically.
like, seriously.
For the record, everybody, yes, that's the only backstory, if you can call it that the villain gets. He started his collection with a Mew card. That's it. apparently,
because he wants to collect legendary Pokemon. Unfortunately, he's an idiot because we later find out through Professor Oak and Professor Ivy that go on, Jova, because we ignored those two.
Oh yeah, basically while the plot has been going on, Professor Oak and Ivy are essentially monitoring what's going on. They're more or less our exposition to tell us that Pokemon have this sixth sense or something, and that's why they've all been acting strange, converging, because apparently...
It's basically animal instincts.
That's the thing, the only part of exposition from them that's necessary is the Pokemon stuff, because all the stuff that they're talking about, how you must not disturb the balance. If you disturb the balance, the world goes to shit. That's already told to us at the beginning with the prophecy. Their exposition, for the most part, kind of comes across as redundant.
But it was just showing how bad it was, because not everyone knows.
I guess.
Well, believe it or not, folks, you wonder why this movie was called Pokemon 2000? Because it was one of the many bouts of fictional media that were going on Y2K. AKA,
also it came out
the end of the world.
Jova. It also came out in July in 2000. So that in America, in Japan, it came out a year earlier.
Well, my point is, like, well, again, despite that, I mean, okay, it came out in 2000, but seriously, it was one of the many things.
I think you're looking too deep into that.
It's early enough to be a coincidence.
Let's just move on, maybe.
No. What I'm just saying is, like, well, it's one of the many plots that follows that angle. And like you yourself mentioned, it did come out in Japan before. Like, okay, I'm not saying that they believe that's what was going to go on. What I'm saying is that that's pretty much the basis of this movie. Stop the apocalypse. As simple as that. And
actually, this is basically a Zelda quest when you get down to it.
So essentially, let me just recap. The apocalypse could be caused because one douche nozzle wants to have this arbitrary collection of chickens.
You wait till we... Okay, Jova, do you remember the exact scene starting with the moment...
I'm gonna let you cover this one where he basically mentions why he doesn't just do a Pokeball thing.
Okay, in the Japanese version... Sorry, might as well talk about this first. In the 4Kids translated version, they have once again, this time, okay, in the first movie we had an anti-fighting message, in this one we have an anti-catching Pokemon message, where she says, the way you're talking about Pokemon, it's like they're dolls or toys or whatever. What kind of trainer are you? And then he goes, I'm afraid I'm not a trainer, young lady. I'm merely a collector. Shiroi, remind me, Misty's literally telling them off for catching Pokemon and just keeping them here for the collection, whereas they catch Pokemon to use them in basically legalized cockfights. Shiroi, remind me again, what's the tagline for this franchise?
Gotta catch 'em all. No, wait, no, not like that. We didn't mean it like that.
Like, I mean, dude, we weren't collecting them, we were catching them. They're two different things.
But here's the interesting thing, Joe.
Just have them out in free air.
But here's the thing, Jova. That model is not at all in the Japanese version. Here's what Missy says in the Japanese version. Wait, old man, after you catch a Pokemon, why not just put them in a Monster Ball, which is the Japanese name for the Pokeball? So you probably want. So there you go, Jova. They actually asked that question to him in the Japanese version. Here's what he says. I am not a Pokemon trainer. I am merely a collector. Okay, that's how it is in the English version, but here's where it differs. If they cannot be observed with your eyes, then you cannot truly call it a collection.
Wait. I know how this is. Moltres, come out!
Exactly.
Oh my god! A legendary bird! Moltres, return! Boomba!
Yeah, this explanation makes no sense. All he has to do is get the Pokemon out of their balls and say, stand there and look pretty. There you go, problem solved.
They're not going to do that. They're going to fly right out the window.
Well, that's the thing, Shuri. It's kind of
the point is he doesn't see... Alright, I know the morality of Pokemon is mixed and very... He's like, His general plan is, he wants to collect them and sees them as objects, whereas most trainers, not all of them, but most, see them as companions and also want to train to get stronger as well. They're not using them as objects. He is.
I think I'm gonna say this. The English dub is the better of the two. Don't get me wrong. It still comes off as a little stupid, but in the Japanese version, he is literally brain dead because he doesn't seem to realize he could have accomplished the exact same result with a Pokeball. Because it's kind of an unwritten rule that as long as you're a well enough trainer, the Pokemon will listen to you after you catch them.
Carry on.
But, yeah, so after that bout of stupidity, he basically leaves them be, and, oh god, then I forget how they got out, actually.
Well, actually, when the way they get out is actually different in both versions, so be sure to tell me when you want me to mention that.
Actually, you know what, go ahead, I mean, unless you want to mention the stuff in between.
Well, I was gonna try and leave that to you, since you're the synopsing.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we can pretty much get to how they got out, unless anyone else wants to mention anything else.
Nah, it's fine.
No, I'm fine. Okay, so here's what happens. In the English version, they just keep basically they get all their Pokemon throwing their shit at Moltres until his dungeon breaks. Not in the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, there's actually a scene that 4Kids decided to cut for whatever reason, where Tracy calculates all the necessary elements that would be required to be mixed in order to cause an explosion to break the prison that Moltres is in. So Tracy actually contributes in this scene. Now, I get that we all don't care for Tracy because he's bland as fuck, but come on, I mean, why exactly did 4Kids feel the need to take away his one scene?
I guess maybe they thought it was a little bit Deus Ex Machina-ish for him to suddenly just out of nowhere pull that stuff. Again, I'm just trying to think of why they took it out. Like, I'm not saying it would have been Deus Ex Machina, so I'm just wondering if that's what they thought.
I have no idea why they did that. Maybe they thought, oh, it's chemistry. Kids don't understand chemistry. Like,
even though some Pokemon literally work off of chemistry, but sure, Deads, do you guys have any theories?
I just figure, it's not important. No one cares about what's his face. Or they didn't want the kid. What's it called? They didn't want kids realizing, oh crap, Ash almost caused an explosion. No, it was the birds that did it. No.
Oh, and by the way, right after that, they fall a huge distance, like Shira pointed out when she watched the movie with me.
Pedro, you forgot to mention the important scene where Ash tries to body check something.
Huh?
Wait, what?
Body check?
You remember, Ash tries to body check the force field that one of the birds is in.
Oh, right, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Shiroi, the unwritten rule that Ash has to tackle something in every movie. In this, in the first one was Mewtwo. Now it's one of the prisons. Once again, Ash. You realize that tackling something is not the one-all solution to everything, right?
He's a cat.
No, he's a stupid kid. That's the problem.
Old.
So fucking what? When I was 10 years old, I wasn't stupid.
You're gonna tell me that you're smart. You were smart when you were 10.
Are you smarter than 10-year-old?
Yes.
Pedro?
No.
I was a smarter 10-year-old than he was. I can tell you that.
Okay. You know what? Because you're not American, I'm willing to believe that.
Hey, Dads. Look, I love self-deprecation as much as the next guy, but even I wasn't that dumb when I was 10.
Have you seen Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? People are dumb. Anyway, going on.
Anyway, but yeah, so our heroes escape through whatever means here and there, depending on whichever version you're watching.
Eventually, you missed it. That's eventually, they mentioned. They literally, like Shiroi put out when we watched it together, Ash should have once again broke his bones, and yet he doesn't when he falls.
He's not human. You've seen what he goes through. He survived worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, wait, do you mean that Ash was secretly grown in a test tube?
Everyone's made of rubber in cartoons.
Yeah!
And
Look at Team Rocket. They survived being blast off in the sky and somehow come back the next day.
Yeah, basically.
Rule of funny, though. But anyway, so our heroes escape down the slope here onto Zapdos' mountain, and stuff gets blown up because Zapdos and Moltres are out, and of course they're fighting. Oh, right, but Articuno's there. Oh, yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, Lawrence was fighting Articuno while this was all going on.
Yeah, he actually does it in reverse order. Instead of going to Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, he does Moltres, Zapdos, then Articuno.
Which is weird. Like, as somebody who was introduced to the legendary trio via this movie, I was under the impression that that was how strong they each were, but no, Moltres is supposed to be the strongest one.
I just remember, Jova, we skipped the best line in the movie. And okay, to give credit.
No, save it for your favorite. Save it for your favorite scene. Go on, continue.
Okay, sure, go on.
So anyway, Ash collects the electric spear. Then more action happens because a good chunk of this movie is dedicated to Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno literally getting in a cockfight with each other.
Yep.
Because I guess they figure, even though we're free, might as well go ahead and fight.
I think the implication is that they're supposed to be enraged.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that the prophecy, neither in Japanese nor in English, does a really good job in conveying how things work.
And again, let's not forget, Zapdos is apparently evil since he wanted to take over all along anyway.
Which I don't get.
Whatever, Zapdos is the best legendary bird anyway.
Yeah, he is.
Really? You prefer Zapdos?
Yeah.
Huh. Wait, is it because you guys are Team Instinct?
No, it's because Zapdos was always my go-to flying Pokemon in Gen 1.
It's part electric, and it has the advantage over both of them.
It kicks ass.
And yet, for some reason, Moltres is recognized as the strongest still.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, obviously. Don't get me wrong, fire is cool too, but lightning, man.
I thought lightning was hot.
Well, not...
It's
a contract, but yeah, sure. Well, lightning is hot. The problem is that the game should never acknowledge that, but whatever. Go on.
Lightning Returns was kind of creepy that way.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Carry on.
PTSD from Troy. Anyway, so yeah, then, like I said, fights between the birds here. This is where the movie just kind of slows to a bit of a crawl.
Yeah, because like then there's also Pokemon from around the island or in the Orange Island specifically coming over to watch because they don't know what they can do, and then Lugia appears.
Like, okay. Can we talk about the fact that the Pokemon literally walked countrywide distance just to come and stare? They don't do anything to help. It could be the end of the world. What?
That's the problem, Jova. Be sure to tell me when we get to the part where Lugia is carrying Ash, because I have something to say about that. Carry on.
Okay, but yeah, they don't do anything as far as we see. But anyway, so yeah, Lugia shows up. Oh god, yeah, and he also partakes in the fight as well.
Not just that, Jova. And the reason he comes back, and the reason he shows up is because of the song that Melody plays, because apparently apparently Melody knows the song of healing from Zelda Majora's Mask. I don't know. She has an ocarina, so
yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a Zelda movie. Actually, I have the perfect description towards this movie. It's The Legend of Zelda starring but Ash is a simp and doing all this to impress a girl.
This movie is a fetch quest.
A girl doesn't even really give him any.
That's what Zelda games are, sure. When the grand scheme of things.
No. Melody was like, "Oh, you're the brave hero. You should do it." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Actually, you know what? Considering how Melody does pretty much come on to Ash, at least going by the English dub, like I think if I recall correctly, she even gives him a kiss and everything. What's her excuse for doing that in the Japanese version, where she says just makes fun of
in the
him?
Japanese version, in the English version, like you said, she says, "Oh, here, I think he'll do. Here's your traditional welcome kiss." In the Japanese version, she says, "Okay, customs here." So she kisses him because it's customary to do so, apparently.
Bullshit.
Yeah, who's the real simp, I wonder. But
I don't know that she calls Misty having no taste for liking Ash, so...
That's probably just her way of hiding the fact that she has a crush on him too, but whatever. Yeah, here's another thing. For being a legendary Pokemon, Lugia kinda sucks, because he gets his butt kicked a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
First time he shows up, he gets wrecked by the 3 legendary birds, and it takes the song to restore his strength. And even still, so you think, okay, so Lugia's gonna help fly Ash over to the Ice Island. Nope, he just tells Ash, okay, kid, you're the chosen one. It's up to you or the world is bone, and leaves Ash to just try and walk.
Yeah,
we literally have a Gilligan cut.
We're also introduced to Slow King, and he just tells Ash to go put the orbs, spheres onto it.
That's
Seriously,
the thing.
I forgot
He
Slow
just
King
kind
was
of
even in
exists.
this movie.
Are we up to the part where Ash gets told that he's the chosen one, so go and save? Like, are we up to that part?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, go on.
Because I want to talk about that. First of all, I might as well
Did
mention...
you want to mention the terrible pun? I feel like the frozen one, actually.
It
That's
is.
a little bit after that.
That's a little bit after that. Yeah. First of all, this is literally a Zelda plot. Get the blue thing, get the red thing, and get the yellow thing. Play the flute. This is literally the plot of Ocarina of Time, basically. But anyway. Here's what it is. Yeah, in the prophecy, they don't say anything about the earth turning to ash. What they say is the god's anger can only be calmed by quote unquote the great controller. Yeah, that's what they refer to the chosen one, the great controller. And then they say the great controller. We only have 2 treasures, and then immediately, if the great controller appears, can the world be saved? Asks Tracy, and then Misty says, "Wait, that means no way, Ash." I see, so that's what it was about. They literally, out of nowhere, turn to Ash and say, hey, I guess you're the chosen one, like for no reason. My guess is 4 kids looked at this and thought, this makes no sense. Let's try to have some kind of change in the prophecy so that they try to come up with some kind of logic for why Ash is the chosen one specifically. That's why they had the turn to Ash thing. That's the best thing. So I will give 4 kids...
There's no reason, it's just... coincidence.
He literally gets told that he's the chosen one there just because, literally for no reason.
It could have literally been anyone.
So
No,
what
by
you're
who?
telling? So
Who
what
tells them that? No one?
No, Tracy. No. Like I said, Deji, it's like this. Misty literally turns to him and said, "Oh, the great controller. So it's you, Satoshi." No. It makes no sense, Deji. She literally goes from saying, "The great controller. Oh, it's you, Satoshi," aka Ash, if you prefer. Like, it makes no sense. They just suddenly piled this on him for no reason. My guess is 4 kids thought, let's change the prophecy so that there's at least some kind of a logic why Ash is the chosen one. It still makes no sense, don't get me wrong, but I at the very least...
at least it's a better explanation.
It's better than none at all. That's basically the point, yeah.
It's like I've said before, for all the flack we give for kids... they did sometimes have to contend with some pretty stupid stuff in the original, and did sometimes more or less improve it. Again, there's not
As
many
much as
times
they could, anyway.
Like, look, there's not so many times you can say the localization company actually funded additional scenes to be added to try and improve a movie. Like,
That's 2 movies from now, but yeah.
Well, again, my point is like, when 4 kids tried, they did try.
Sure.
Again, there were some bumps
Also,
in the
this
road,
movie
but
is
still.
canon. Just letting you know.
When was it ever doubted that it... Wait, I get it. You're
Well,
referring
aren't
to
they
the-
all canon anyway?
Well, okay. I think Des is referring to the fact that some of the movies have been retconned with the reboots, like, the new Mewtwo movie.
Well, no, that's just I consider that to be an alternate universe altogether.
Oh, so
Whatever,
then
let's
was there
just,
any doubt
move
that
on.
so then when was there any doubt this movie was canon?
No, because there are some movies that literally can't work within the continuity of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is canon.
Carry on, Joe.
So anyway, though, but yeah, so basically Ash figures out that he's the chosen one, or rather the frozen one, as we do a Gilligan cut.
Hello?
Jova?
Uh-oh.
I guess I'll continue then. Yeah.
There is a hilarious scene in that where Ash is like, wait, hold on, I can't. training Pokemon is one thing, but saving the world is hard.
Oh, you want to want me to tell you what he says in the Japanese version there?
Welcome back, Jova.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Okay. I guess I'll just go back to where I mentioned. Okay.
Wait, before you continue, go on, Pedro. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that in the Japanese version they say, "Oh, he says the same thing, but here's how Tracy replies. I know it's not easy, Ash, but it seems you're the right person." What do you mean it seems you're the right person? You literally just assumed out of nowhere that he's the right person.
Don't get me wrong.
This Japanese script makes no sense.
Don't get me wrong. Ash is a nice trainer and all, but still, what's stopping you guys from helping him? Like, even if he is the chosen one, they don't even initially come with him.
I actually have something to say about that, but later. Carry on.
Okay, but yeah. So anyway, Ash sets out, basically having his Pokemon pull him for a bit. But then, of course, the legendary birds have to come out and be dicks about it and then raise up an ice rift in his way. Not to worry, Team Rocket are here to help with an inflatable raft.
Yes.
Yeah, they're still
Which they stole from Melody's boat.
Still, at least they're doing something.
Yeah.
So we traverse closer and closer to the ice lands, We make it there, get the third ice spear, and then Lugia comes in.
Yep.
Team Rocket grasp onto Lugia's tail, Ash and Pikachu ride on Lugia's back, and we're off. I take it this is where you wanted to mention that bit now, Pedro, with Lugia carrying Ash?
Yes. First off, talking about what he says in the 4Kids version. In the 4Kids version, Ash asks him, Lugia, what are all those Pokemon doing down there? And Lugia says they're there just in case they're needed to help or something. Actually, Lugia, there's been plenty of times up until this point in the movie where they could have been helpful. In fact, in just a few minutes, Ash is going to once again fall because stuff gets complicated, and there's a point where the water Pokemon specifically, could have helped Ash get out of the water, but no, it has to be Misty doing it.
Several times throughout me and Pedro watching that part of the movie did I say you could have jumped in at any time.
Hell,
right, like now or now. Why are you there?
A Gyarados was literally staring at him as Misty had to save him.
There was more than one Gyarados, I'm sure.
But you know what's interesting?
There were a bunch of Blastoises there as well.
But you know what's interesting? In the Japanese version, Ash makes a really stupid question instead. Instead of asking what are all those Pokemon doing down there, instead here's what he asks in the Japanese version: Are those all Pokemon? Yes, Ash. Yes, they are. All of those are Pokemon. Yes, they are.
Ash, it's starting to become clear in the Japanese version why you lose a lot at the end of each season.
I think the altitude is getting to him.
And Lugia replies, yes, every Pokemon living on this planet.
Well, no, that's impossible. There's
not that many in that case.
Again. This is season 1. Well, it's season 2 technically.
Okay,
so
true.
This was before. This was before everything happened.
Okay. I'm just gonna come to this conclusion. It sounds like the English dub is the better watching experience, at least for competency's sake.
It is for the most part, but I do prefer the fact that the Japanese version doesn't constantly throw shipping bones, because it's just so cringy.
I mean, shipping is one thing, and like I said, I find Melody actually an interesting love interest, but more on that later. But aside from that, it sounds like the utter stupidity is greater in the Japanese version. Anyway, but yeah, so they're going about flying along just fine, but the plot realized that we need some more drama. So let's have the legendary birds attack Lugia again, in addition to Lawrence the Third.
To be fair, Lawrence the Third did fire a cannon to try and attack Lugia.
Yes, I know.
Be sure to tell him when you get to the part where Misty goes to save Ash, because that's hilarious in the Japanese version.
So Lugia is pretty much being captivated by those rings from Lawrence's ship's cannons and whatnot. But then he fires off a giant hyper beam, I think it is, which pretty much takes out Zapdos and Moltres while Articuno was already beaten down on his island, and also destroys Lawrence the Third's fortress. Which just begs the question why he didn't do that before, but whatever. Lugia gets knocked out once again, saying that he has failed, and Ash is drowning, and Misty has to go rescue him, but she totally doesn't like him. I guess this movie was supposed to try and show that whereas Melody was more superficial, Misty was the one who would help Ash, except at the end of the day,
Melody was the one that was going to help Ash and told Misty play the song before, and then Misty was like, "No, I'll do it."
Well, it's okay. And here's okay. Can I mention that one as well, since you brought it up? Here's what happens in the Japanese version. Melody, Frula. gives
no, we're not doing this. Just get to the point.
Melody says, "Hold this. I'm going after Ash." And then they have that stare, and then Misty goes, and I quote, hold on, "This is your flute, your instrument." Yes, Misty, it is. And then she says, and I'm not shitting you, he's my burden. Right?
Oh my
Misty,
god!
In the Japanese version, don't you remember, Shira? I told you this. I swear to you, Dej. I swear, Deji. I can send you a screenshot if you want. In the Japanese version, Misty literally calls Ash her burden.
Pedro, are you sure that they weren't trying to throw the shippers a bone in the Japanese version? Because that sounds like something a lover would say.
I'm not even kidding. She literally considers Ash a burden.
I think she always thought he was a burden.
Yeah, to be fair.
You thought she was unlikable in the English version? In the Japanese version, she literally calls him a burden.
I'm not sure I like any of them in the Japanese version so far.
Like, Jesus. Like, oh, yeah, Misty, just call the boy who's out there risking his life, which, mind you, you didn't come along to help in the first place, a burden. That's
it's
nice.
Girl talk, don't you know? Ha ha ha.
You know, again, May was never this much a dick to him. Is it any surprise that Ash just ditched Misty? And yes, that's my headcanon that he ditched her because, seriously, screw her. But yeah, so Misty goes to rescue him with her awesome swimming techniques. Actually, why doesn't she use her Pokemon to rescue him?
Because she's stupid.
Like, you are a water gym leader.
Shut up, Joa. Shut up.
Carry on.
So like we mentioned, she surfaces with them, and again, the Pokemon that could be helping are literally just staring at them. Ash is nearly dying, but it's okay, he's saved and whatnot. He brings the ice crystal spear to the holder of the spears, and then Melody plays a song, and okay, I won't lie.
The world.
I won't lie. The scene is actually more great in the English version, because the music played is a nice callback to a consistent theme we've been hearing, Lugia's theme, while also then erupting into a major, wondrous melody with some great
they specifically
artistry.
say that it's they specifically say that it's the Song of Legend, so yeah, of course it would be.
So yeah, again, you know, for all the flack I give this movie, that ending scene is pretty damn awesome.
Okay,
and
yeah. Also, we forgot that Ash's mom, Professor Oak, and Professor Ivy were in a helicopter, and they crashed, but miraculously survived, and were on the island.
Oh, and Ash's mom has a name.
Yeah,
Delilah.
In the English version, the Japanese version, he literally just calls her Satoshi's mom, Ash's mom. I'm not kidding. In the Japanese version, when Professor Oak goes to her house, he literally calls her Ash's mom.
Adults don't do that. They'll call people by their name. Like, it's
okay, so here's the thing. Ash doesn't have a last name in Japanese. Because they call him Satoshi from Masura Town, which is Ash of Pallet Town. The English stuff was the one that gave him a last name. So, if what you're telling me is his mom doesn't have a name to begin with, it's like,
in the Japanese version, she's literally just called Ash's mom, apparently. I mean, that's all they ever call her in the Japanese version of this anime.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? Keep talking. I am going to look.
Oh, you're gonna see if they ever did give her a name eventually in the Japanese dub, aren't you?
As far as I can tell, at least, yeah. Because the Ilya thing, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 4Kids making it up. Carry on,
Hanko. Hanako.
Oh, Hanako. Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's the thing that I can tell you he doesn't call her that in the Japanese version of this movie, at least.
It's probably a name they gave her way down later down the line. But yeah, so essentially, peace is restored, Ash's mother is there, and Lugia is back to give a speech about how the world is beautiful, you all accomplished it together. Oh, wait,
We
that's
all
right.
did it together.
Oh wait, guys, we forgot to mention that Team Rocket sacrificed themselves so that Lugia could speed up during that last bit action
And they
scene.
said die twice in this show.
That and Slow King decides to now suddenly break the fourth wall.
Although there was one other, you know what? I'll save it for my favorite scenes. But yeah, that's
pretty much
Pokemon.
the end of the movie. Oh wait, but hold on. But then Lawrence says that he will start again as he finds the Mew card, which, if I recall correctly, is a trading card you can get.
Yes.
Yes,
Back
I
when
think
the movie was in
they
theaters.
gave it out. Yeah.
Yeah, back when the movie was in theaters, the first few people who went to see the movie did receive one of 4 limited edition cards. Yes.
And
Pedro. Next time we do the next podcast, I'm making you do the summary, so just so we can get to the point.
Sure.
Hey! I've been getting to the point. It's just you guys have had interjections to deal with.
All right.
Regardless, though, that's pretty much the end of the movie. I love how.
So overall thoughts?
I just want to say this. I love how they suggested that Lawrence would be back. He never came back after this.
Nope. Remember, Joba, this is kind of.
I'm unaware of.
Remember, Joba, this is kind of another unwritten rule of the Pokemon movies, except for maybe the first movie. What happens in a Pokemon movie stays in that Pokemon movie, basically.
If I recall correctly, other movies did have stuff referenced in the shows.
Show, but not characters. It's just like, oh, Dawn has an item that she bought from a shop in the Rise of Darkrai movie.
Sure. The only one that I'm aware of is, of course, the fact that we see Mewtwo's escape from the movie from Giovanni and Team Rocket's perspective in the anime. I do know that. Aside from the first movie, though.
Well, that was because they were trying to build it up.
Okay.
But yeah, seriously though, man, Lawrence really was a sucky villain. But yeah, that was Pokemon 2000.
Fox, you know what, Joe? You go first.
It's okay. If you're not a diehard Pokemon fan, you're probably going to have a lot of problems with this movie. Hell, even if you are a diehard Pokemon fan, you'll probably have problems with this movie. But it's not really worth hatred. Is it worth critiquing? Oh, hell yes, and there is plenty to make fun of. But at the end of the day, I'd say it's at worst mediocre. Like, it does still have stunning animation, pretty good music, and some funny lines here and there too. Honestly, go ahead and give it a watch if you want the Pokemon experience. But, yeah. This is a weird movie to judge. Like, it's not really good, but the stuff it does do good, it's enough to get me to watch this movie again. I obviously don't watch it as much as I used to as a kid. Like, I definitely love this more as a kid, because again, it's Pokemon, but on a bigger scale. Though I'll admit, out of the original 3, I do feel like this is the one that was kind of always just there for me. In the sense, like, well, when you get down to it, the actual confrontation with the villains is not as climactic as, say, in 1 or 3. Which is a shame here. The legendaries shown off, well, most of them were Gen 1 legendaries brought into a Gen 2 world, so... okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's a thing. What do you guys think?
Shira, you go next.
This movie just kind of exists. It happened. Our villain was a plot device in and of himself. I don't really like a lot of the characters. It just happened. I mean, I didn't dislike watching it. It actually flew by pretty quickly, considering it's again a fetch quest. But yeah, that was it. This happened. It exists. We don't have to watch it again.
I will still hold by my opinion that Melody could have probably been a better female protagonist than Misty, though. Like,
I do like her a lot more, but still.
Well, she's the only one in this movie that has an actual something resembling of an arc.
Not really. Not every character needs an arc. They just need to do things and...
Well, but that's the thing, that she's the only one that goes from a place to another place. She at the beginning doesn't really care about the festival. She finds it silly, but when she finds out how actually real it is, she starts taking her role more seriously. So she's the only one who has something even resembling an arc, at least to me.
and like I said, she's actually more supportive of Ash in the English dub anyway. It actually seems like someone who does genuinely care. Yeah, Shuri?
On
Carry
that
on,
note,
Shuri.
it would have been nice to, because Pedro, while we were watching, Pedro mentioned something, about apologizing, to her sister and, something along those lines.
Yeah, what I said was that it would have been such a good scene to have in the credits, to have her apologize to the sister, ask her to train her a bit more so she can probably be the proper successor to her sister.
She wouldn't need to have even. They wouldn't have even needed to have been verbal. It could have been, just one of the scenes they put in the credits, like they did with the first movie. So it would just been a nice thing. Like, the movie doesn't, lose anything by not having it, because this movie doesn't really have anything going for it.
But it has a vocal credits song for the credits. That's nice.
We'll get to that song in a moment. I'm
Don't
sure
worry.
Pedro has a lot to talk about that.
I do.
Yes.
I do. Because I fucking love those credits to death. Carry on.
But anyway, no, that's really it for what I have to say about this movie. It's there. Cool.
It exists.
Stuff happened.
It's the most it exists Pokemon movie I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who's
Dex,
next?
what about you?
Pokemon 2000 is definitely a movie. No. I really enjoy it. It's not perfect, but I do find it better than the first movie to some degree. As in, there's more of a... This one is more about the main characters that we've been following, rather than it was Mewtwo's existential crisis.
And I guess, to be fair, at least this one can stay true to its guns a lot better than the first ones, which was about, fighting is bad,
wrong.
not in. And also, by the way, let's make everyone forget what they learned in the end.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. I guess, in a way,
God.
I kind of do like this better than Mewtwo Strikes Back in degrees like that. It's hard for me to decide completely which I like better. Hopefully by the time I give my score, I should be able to.
I have an explanation for that, but carry on, Dej.
My issue with this is the whole chosen one thing. If it was just... I would have been preferred it if it was just, what a random chance that happens. But then it turns out, yes, I'm fine with him being the chosen one. I just feel like it needs to be explained better. And also, another gripe I have is like, why wasn't anyone else helping? Why aren't the Pokemon helping as well? I could, if they said that only Ash has to be the one to put the stones on the thing in order for the ritual to work, I would have been fine. That would have been a better throwaway line. But it's the fact that, everyone's just gonna stay there while he goes to the third island. It's like, guys, seriously?
I'm guessing you prefer the power of us over the power of one.
I haven't seen the power of us yet.
Oh, huh. Surprising.
And and I do like Melody and Melody, and I kind of wish that she was there. But oh well. Anyway, Pedro, your turn.
Okay, so here's the thing about this movie. To go on to the whole movie 1 versus movie 2 thing, here's the reason why I find... here's the thing. In terms of logical structure, in terms of logical consistency, technically Pokemon 2000 is a better made movie than the first one, like you guys said. For me,
it sort of makes sense because they had more time to actually realize, okay, this is how we make a movie.
And it's also, Lugia was made specifically for this movie, so that's cool. he
Sure.
became popular because of this film.
Yeah.
Yep.
That being said, though, logical structure and logical consistency to me means nothing if there are no interesting ideas and interesting characters to go along with that. The reason I find this movie mediocre and just bland is because the plot is completely uninteresting. It's the characters have little to no character arcs of any kind. There's nothing, and there's very little of substance in the actual story itself. And the first movie, for as flawed as it was, and don't get me wrong, as we've made clear in the first podcast, it was incredibly flawed. The first movie, while flawed, had far more interesting ideas going on with it. Mewtwo had a not flawless but fairly effective arc, and the atmosphere in the first movie, to me at least, it was far stronger. The movie did a good job in maintaining a scary atmosphere within Mewtwo's island, and with not to mention all the cool imagery that you could see in the machines and everything. Like, it was a very cool movie, in its looks, and that, in my opinion, elevates it a bit.
I think when you put it like that, to me, that sort of puts the movies on equal terms. Like, they both have a trade-off. 2000 is more logical and structured, but unfortunately not as entertaining, whereas Pokemon Strikes Back is technically more entertaining, but is a lot more of a plot-driven mess, which can leave some people more confused than entertained, so it feels like they even each other out.
That's my thing. Like, to me, the entertainment value is the most important thing, because if the movie's not entertaining, why am I even watching it? Logical consistency alone doesn't make this movie better than the first one for me. I still prefer the first movie, because the first movie had more interesting characters, had more interesting ideas, had better atmosphere. I like the score of the first movie overall, but don't get me wrong, I love Nuba's song.
Melody is a better character than all the original characters that they added in that last movie, who didn't have any names.
Well, I don't know. I think Mewtwo is an overall better realized character than Melody, personally.
I'm talking about the trainers.
Oh, the trainers.
True, yeah.
Oh, no, true. When I'm talking about, when I say characters, I mean all of them. I'm not just saying the trainers, Well, I'm just talking about the characters overall, because, I mean, Mewtwo is basically the main character of the first movie, so yeah, I have to count him as a character, right?
Yeah, but everyone else.
Well, yeah, no, Deji, I never said that the characters are brilliant, all across the board. I'm just saying that I found Mewtwo's very effective character arc, plus the very cool atmosphere that the Mewtwo's Island had, I feel made the movie way more entertaining and interesting. Whereas this movie, it's basically just the plot of Ocarina of Time. You're just collecting the free treasures and then playing on Ocarina so that to make the world better. Which would be fine if they flavored it with cool character arcs and subplots within the characters, but the characters don't really do much. I mean, yeah, Team Rocket helps, but that's all they do.
Well, no, they kind of had a character arc.
Also, Pedro, counter-argument, the problem with most people's arcs in the first movie, most of them got wiped out.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But at the end of the day, the movie still entertained me more than the second movie did. The second movie, I'm just kind of passively watching. The first movie, I'm at the very least seeing cool things happen. At least they're not very coherent things, but they're cool things at least. It's just, but that's just for me. Like, it's basically if you're someone who prefers a more logically consistent story, yeah, sure, maybe you'll enjoy this movie better. But to me, logical consistency is not enough. I need an interesting story or interesting characters, or at the very least something interesting to hold on to. And this movie doesn't have anything interesting. It's a very mediocre, bland movie that feels so formulaic and safe. Whereas the first movie, at the very least, tried to pose some good questions. It failed at answering them, but at the very least, it tried to bring up some interesting questions.
Man, we're at the second movie, and already our opinions are pretty much split. I was not expecting this so fast.
Well, that's just
that's just the thing with Pokemon 2000, Judge. You'll get either people who enjoy it, people who think it's lame here and there. Like, I'm actually not surprised 2000 is a movie we're split on because, again, it does arguably do a lot of good things. Well, okay, relatively speaking, a lot of good things. Like, technically not that much, but when you compare it to a lot of Pokemon stuff, it does raise the bar here and there.
How about this? How about this? Yeah, I think here's something I think we can at the very least agree. In terms of antagonists, the first movie completely wipes its ass with this one. Like, Mewtwo is a far better antagonist than Lawrence the Third. You can at the very least.
But is that all you have to say?
I'm almost done. The music, overall, I still prefer the score of the first movie overall. However, I really love Lugia's song, like Jova said, and the songs that play in the credits, the 4Kids credits, are amazing. But I'll go into more detail about that in my favorite scenes. Overall, it's a bland, forgettable, mediocre movie that's more consistent and logical, but way less entertaining in my eyes. I'm done.
All right. And now we're here for the Tracy Sketchum Award, aka who's the worst character of the ship, of the movie. Shira, you go.
The villain, because Tracy doesn't do enough to actually be a problem. The villain is just, he's written in, collects some chickens, as Jova put it, and then leaves. That he just, why is he there other than to be a plot device?
He's literally a nothing villain. He's just there because we need someone to cause conflict.
Like,
he's
Tracy
literally the
does
one
nothing,
causing
but
the end of the world because he wants to collect some monster chickens.
Tracy does nothing, but he's not on screen enough of the time to bother me. This guy is, so... So yeah, douche nozzle villain is worst character.
He's let me put it like this: he's not a character; he's an obstacle.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't even call it an obstacle so much as he is just a plot device. Because for some high imposing villain, he sure made it relatively easy for the heroes to escape and then wreck things.
Although with that machine that he had and how he was able to capture the legendary Pokemon, I'm sure he could have easily had a contingency plan for Mewtwo.
But he didn't, apparently. So.
Yeah, he didn't.
Because he didn't know Mewtwo existed. No one did.
True.
Well, Team Rocket.
Regardless, though, Lawrence just raises more questions than answers. Like, did he build that fortress on his own, too? Is he the only one there on that ship? Who's
he's the only one there, but I think it's meant to imply that he's rich. So
I kind of get rich guy vibes from him. Anyway.
No. We get that he's rich, but the movie never explains how the hell he got this rich. But carry on.
We don't need to know
that.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, that might actually flesh out his character. We wouldn't know that.
I don't think it would, but anyway.
No.
Here's a better question: who's maintaining this whole operation?
He is.
Oh, so he goes around the entire ship maintaining that.
Worst character in my opinion.
And his AI. Pedro, you go next.
My worst character for the English version would be, I think I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna go with with freaking what's her name?
Misty.
No. That's for the Japanese version. In the no, actually, never mind. You know what? In the English version, I'm gonna go with worst character for Lawrence the Third as well, because
No. So she already took that. You have to pick someone else.
Oh, come on, Dad. We should be allowed to agree on it.
No, that's the rule. Only one of us can pick.
Whatever, I can pick somebody else. Don't worry. I guess I'll go with Zapdos, because Zapdos is an asshole. Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, it's my favorite flying Pokemon, but that doesn't mean he gets to get away with everything.
Yeah.
That's for the English version, though. If I'm talking about the Japanese version, on the other hand, definitely Misty gets the kick, because Misty is... I've never liked Misty, because all the way back to episode 3 of the anime, where she antagonizes Ash so hard for little to no reason, and treats him like crap right from the and now the culmination comes into this movie, where in the Japanese version she literally calls him a freaking burden. Okay, you can make an argument that maybe she didn't actually mean that. Maybe it was just a joke, and it's like, don't worry, he's my burden. I'm the one who should call. Like, maybe she didn't mean it like maliciously. But even so, you could have phrased that so much better. It just combined with because when she says the whole "I'm a burden," he's my burden thing, combined with her past history with Ash, when she's constantly an asshole to him, it just doesn't come across as a cute little joke. No, it comes across as just, yep, that's Misty. Yep, that goes along with her character. And I don't like her at all. I've never liked her, and the Japanese version of this movie is a great indication of her being a bitch.
Welcome
Screw you,
to
Misty.
the club.
Screw you, Misty. Carry on, Jova. Your most hated character.
So, I guess since English-wise...
No, we're not doing that. Wait, Jova, did you see the Japanese version?
No, I was saying, so English-wise, apparently Lawrence and Zapdos are already taken as per your rules, Dedge.
Fine, I'm only going to give him the one exception for this. This is the last time you're doing well in English and Japanese.
Tell you what. Since, okay, I guess we'll also count Misty as taken 2 then, if it pleases you. In which case, I guess then Tracy is left. Like, he normally wouldn't be the one I chose, but since everyone else is taken, yeah, Tracy actually is pretty useless in this movie. I mean, again, even Lawrence does more for the plot than Tracy does.
But Jova, there's that deleted scene where 4Kids screwed Tracy over.
Honestly, you know what? Tracy had it coming anyway, and hey, it's just a good representation of why we hated him in it. And even if that scene was in the movie, congrats, that would have been like one thing that honestly almost anyone could have done with Pokemon. Which, yeah, I guess kind of explains why they just had Pokemon do it. So maybe he might have felt even more useless if that scene was left in. What a paradox. Sorry, Tracy. I know you didn't mean bad, but you were a crap replacement for Brock. You will not be missed. Deads, that leaves you.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, technically, I didn't say I didn't finalize the rule, so freaking Misty again.
I don't disagree with you.
No. Okay, fine. God, it's like.
Just go ahead and pick Misty.
I'm gonna say Slow King because he really did. He just existed.
I disagree. Slow King's
honestly,
my favorite
no.
He does nothing.
Like, seriously, just pick
But
Misty.
Shiro, he has the best line in the movie.
I can't, Jova. I can't choose Misty twice in a row.
Also, Pedro, the bar's already on the floor. Okay.
Yes.
You're technically not choosing her twice over.
Wait, let me put it like this. I don't dislike Slow King. Because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. I just say in terms of what he did in this movie, it was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, he still did more than Tracy.
So what you're saying there, G, is that Slow King could use pens?
Yes. And now it did there. Let's go with favorite character.
Okay then.
I'll go first, Lugia.
Oh.
No, wait.
Sure.
No, shit.
No,
go ahead. Go ahead because I raised the bar for everybody. No. Pedro, you go next.
Lugia looks cool and all, but it doesn't really do enough to really make me that care that much. I think Mewtwo did more cool stuff in the first movie compared to Lugia, but my favorite character in the English version is Slow King, definitely. Why? Because he has the best line in this movie, both versions, where he's cold, he's looking off his nose, and he says, and I quote, "I could use pants." and that line comes so out of nowhere. It's just so
what does he say in Japanese?
In the Japanese version, he puts off the snow and he says, "So troubling." I do give kudos to 4Kids for giving him a bit more personality by changing his dialogue. Because in the original Japanese version, he's just there to guide the Ash. He's just there saying generic dialogue. In the English version, to 4Kids' credit, they did give him more fun lines.
The funny thing is that this kind of makes sense, seeing as how going off of the Pokédex dialogue, that coral biting down on him seeps toxins into his brain that makes him super smart. So, yeah, if he thinks he's human, it makes sense, lore-wise.
In that, if for those who don't know, real quick, don't worry, I'll be quick. For those who don't know, go to ComedyCentral.com and check out a certain segment from Daily Show, where what American politician back in 2012 referenced this movie.
Yeah, Herman Cain.
And it's hilarious. Google Daily Show Herman McCain Pokemon. It's great. It's one of my all-time favorite Daily Show moments.
Christ.
But anyway, it's great. But anyway, Japanese version. My favorite character, Melody, because like I said, she's the only character that has anything even somewhat resembling a character arc in this movie. Whereas the other characters just kind of do things. They don't actually learn anything. They don't actually grow in any meaningful way. They're just kind of doing the thing that they've been designated to do, specifically Ash. Whereas at the very least, Melody, while the movie doesn't focus on it, technically does go from being a somewhat rebellious girl who doesn't take her new job seriously to actually being properly seen for herself how important her new role is, and she starts taking it seriously. And there's even a scene where she flat out goes out to save Ash because she wants to make sure this goes well and everything. Again, like me and Shira have said, it would have been so nice to have a scene between her and her sister at the end where she apologizes to her sister for making fun of the tradition and asking her, okay, don't worry, from now on I'll do things exactly as I should. It would have been a nice thing, but whatever. The point is, my favorite character in the Japanese version is Melody. Carry on.
Alright, I'll go next. My favorite character... for the English dub, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna say Melody, since Pedro said Melody for the Japanese version. No, he said it for the Japanese version.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
yes, you need to state the loopholes that can't happen, Des.
This is the last time we're doing this, okay?
Remember, Did state the rules better, but yes, for
fine.
the English version, I say Melody is my favorite character. Again, she had enough potential that she could have outright but replaced Misty as lead girl as far as I'm concerned. Like, she had interesting characters, she had spunk to her, she had a character arc, and she was actually fun. Heck, it was kind of cute seeing her and Ash as a couple as well, too. And honestly, if Misty hadn't just come in and barged and say, oh no, I'll go rescue Ash instead of her, she would have done it. Probably would have succeeded too and still been able to play that ocarina of hers. Let's see. Japanese version. Oh god, I guess my favorite character is Ash. Only just by virtue of the fact that he has quite possibly some of the least stuff going on for him. I mean, sure, yeah, Marin was hot and all, but now thanks to Dead, I'm only going to imagine her as a sex-changed Ethan. Thanks for ruining them. I mean, don't get me wrong, Marin is still hot and everything, but it's so weird now that I see Ethan in her. Not that there's anything
They're just
wrong.
related, nothing more.
Yeah, that's what I see. It's like maybe it was his cousin.
Yeah.
That could have been actually a nice Easter egg.
Oh no, it's like hitting with your friend's mom, and then you realize, wait, that's her mom, and then you see the result. It's like, oh no,
his cousin, huh? Well, it's a good thing this isn't Sailor Moon.
Oh,
or that Captain America movie you want to show me.
Oh no, I'm afraid to ask.
Carry on.
Anyway, but yeah, favorite characters are Melody English dub, Ash in the Japanese dub, just by virtue of not really having anything wrong with him, aside from the whole tackling something that should probably kill him. Pikachu's a dick in this movie.
Pikachu's a dick in all the movies.
Like, more so in this one. But yeah, that's me.
Well, remember, Jova, in the first movie, he was a dick to himself. He was constantly hitting himself. I mean...
yes, because of his frustration and struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was mentioning the clone, but sure, that works too. Carry on.
Oh, I thought you were referring to the first episode because you said the first one.
Well, as in first movie.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I'm dreading when we go to I Choose You because I know exactly how we're gonna be at each other's throats.
Oh my god.
Oh, you hate that movie?
No, I love that movie. I know it's Pedro that hates it.
Wait. Isn't that the one where all the different protagonists?
It was like a retelling of the first episode, but they changed Brock and Misty, and everybody hated that change.
Oh, that I don't know if that's the one I'm thinking about. But just carry on. We can.
It's the one where Pikachu talks, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Quote unquote
Okay,
talks,
now
but anyway.
it's time for least favorite scene.
I haven't said my favorite character.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you forgot Shiroy.
I
That
forgot.
wasn't
Of course
nice.
you did. Sorry,
No.
go on.
Well, since you took my preference for water away from me, for English I'll say Team Rocket, and for Japanese I'll say Moltres. For Team Rocket, I can't
don't you
say
mean
much
Zapdos,
about
maybe?
fire chicken. It's chicken that breathes fire. That's cool, and that's it. But Team Rocket, like, you have all these Pokemon here. You have the actual heroes here, but it's the villains that actually do something useful. They actually got Ash there. They attempted to sacrifice themselves to help get them back. Like, what was everybody else doing? Seriously.
Sure, question. You said Moltres. Don't you think maybe Zapdos, maybe?
No.
What?
Oh, okay, because
No.
Moltres didn't do anything. What makes you think
Wait,
Moltres...
Because if I can't have the preference for water, I'm going to
Oh,
have my
that,
preference.
okay.
I can't have my preference for fire.
Sure, I guess.
Also,
Carry on.
Pedro, Moltres did plenty attacking Lawrence and attacking the heroes as well.
And the ocean gods.
I don't have a preference for electricity anyway, so
Carry on.
you can keep that bird. But though, that's it.
Okay then,
Alright,
Dej.
so
What's
least
next, Edge?
favorite scene. Shira, you go first.
Oh, I don't know what my least favorite scene is, because this movie is just...
I have an
It's
idea
so-
of what. I have an idea of one that maybe will be your least favorite. Maybe
Go ahead.
the one where Misty says, and I quote: "If you want, if you want someone that does whatever you want when you want, you better get yourself a girlfriend." Because
That's
what
also
the hell?
one terrible
Because what
joke.
the hell was that for, kids?
It's not really
seriously.
a scene, it's just a very bad joke.
Okay
But-
then.
I don't really know what my favorite scene would be, because this movie is so, I guess, straightforward in how, like, not even how consistent its tone is, but like how mediocre it is.
Let me put it like this. The first movie had lower lows, but also higher highs. This is the kind of thing that, in comparison, toes the line a lot more to the point where it stays neutral, in a sense.
This movie runs on a straight line.
Here's one thing that the first movie also had better: much more stronger and memorable imagery. Like the overall direction, like the shots. It was so memorable in the way it was shot.
I'd
Directed.
say this movie does have some stuff to show the grandiose sense of stuff, like the CGI shots of a giant airship, or the magnificence and the imagery of the final song scene and whatnot.
I guess if I have to pick, I'm guessing any scene with our quote-unquote villain, because he's just generic rich douchebag.
Yep.
Yeah.
He walks in the movie and he walks right out of it. There we go. That's my least favorite. Sure, why not?
Alright.
What's next? Who's next, actually?
Jova.
Oh boy, least favorite scene. I guess pretty much any scene where Misty is chastising Ash for no good reason. So a typical Misty scene, but yeah. I mean, again, this movie isn't the most exciting thing, but, you know, it never really feels like there's anything particularly insulting about it, aside from the villain. Except whenever Misty is riding Ash's ass for so minuscule reasons.
Well, she is her bird. He is her burden, Ash. It's Jova, after all.
You know what? I can't believe I'm going to say this. 4Kids probably saved her character because, look, like, that's like a event Desperation Horizon moment there. Like, Jesus, that sounds almost sociopathic.
Yeah.
So yeah, my least favorite scene, any scene where Misty is being as misty as possible.
Alright, here's my least favorite scene. The scene where all the Pokemon gather and don't even do anything.
Yes.
Valid.
Like,
Very
like,
valid.
You could have helped fight off Lugia, not Lugia, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres. You probably all would have been jobs, but at least you would have gone out helping. And like, okay, there was a scene in the Pokemon manga in the Johto arc where all the trainers across the world have to send their Pokemon to the PC box and release them so they can purify Lugia and Ho-Oh because they're corrupted and they change good. I understand from an animator's perspective it would have been too much to animate every single Pokemon fighting, but at least show a few trying to do something.
Or hell, use your magical tears that you have to fix something, because that can do stuff.
No, it only petrifies stone.
That's not what the junior novel said.
What conveniently specific magical tears.
Yeah.
Screw this, I'll go with the magical tears that let me speak to dolphins.
Yeah, those are cooler.
Wait, what are you talking about?
There's an Italian Titanic movie where you can talk to dolphins thanks to the power of moon tears. I'm not kidding.
Okay, you know we have to do a podcast of that too, right?
Oh, Deds, there are 2 of those movies and a television series.
Sure, why
connected
not?
to
I'm
it.
down with it. But anyway, Pedro, your least favorite scene.
My least favorite scene in the English version is... Okay, if I had to pick one, I guess I get it's only one line, like Shiroi said, but I'm sorry, that line bothers the hell out of me. That line alone ruins so much goodwill I may have had for this movie. The whole, get yourself a girlfriend if you want someone that does whatever you want thing. Like, what the hell was that? Like, see, remember, I only watched the Japanese version later via the internet. I grew up with the 4Kids script like everybody else. So I grew up with that line. And that line is god-awful and it pisses me off to no end. So it ruins that entire scene. It leaves such a bad taste in my mouth to the point where I can't even care for whatever good may be in the rest of that scene. It's that bad of a line to me. Japanese version, my least favorite scene would be, of course, the Misty saying it's a burden thing. He's a burden thing. Because that line is just, like Jova said, it's borderline sociopathic. What the hell was that? Why do the writers of this show, why do the people who make this anime at the time insisted on making Misty so mean?
Like, look, there's being tsundere, and then there's just being near heartless. Like, ugh.
It's just playful words because love interest and
That would have been fine if the history between her and Ash would have justified that, but it doesn't because Misty has been mean to Ash ever since episode Bloody 3.
Okay, so throughout Johto, they do get nicer to each other, and I argue during the end of the original run towards Orange Islands, their friendship got better.
It
lot
does,
of things
but
got better in Orange Islands. Ash's relationship with Misty, Ash's relationship with Charizard, Ash finally winning a tournament.
Only for the anime to tell me that that doesn't matter because as soon as Ash comes home, he shows his mom the trophy and she uses it as a dumbbell.
Hey,
that was just to tell. That was just to tell you. Yeah, it's all filler.
Whatever. I'm not going to go into a rant about that. The point is, those are my least favorite scenes. Carry on.
Okay, now for favorite scenes, I go first. The scene where Ash and his mom have a moment together, which is really cute and sincere, and it also has my favorite line in the entire movie.
Oh? What?
And she says, "Look, I understand. I understand that I can't stop you, but you're all that." But basically, she's his world.
Yeah.
Next time, if you're gonna save the world, please do it closer to home. Famous last words.
Me and Shira talked about that when we watched the movie. Lady, you are the mom. You have the authority here. Just tell him, no, you're done. Come home, and
No,
that's it.
you're
Use your
done
mother
saving.
authority.
No, son, you cannot save the world.
Which
Even
is
though
ironic
if it
given
wasn't-
what happens in Pokemon
You are 10 years
3.
old. Go to
You're-
school.
Yeah, exactly.
Shiroi,
Why
that's the thing, Shiroi. As far as we can tell, there's no human schools in this world.
Actually, there
Actually,
are.
Pedro, there
Are there?
Yes, plenty.
In the game, there aren't.
There are
There's an
episodes.
episode with a school.
Pedro. In Gen 3, there's literally a gym leader who is a student of a school. Hell
Yeah,
yes, there
Roxy.
are schools. Yeah,
Or
Roxy.
It's like a
Roxanne,
whole
Roxanne.
academy.
Then why the fuck are kids allowed to go on journeys?
Well, Pedro. That's
don't-
part
don't
of the
start
lore.
this. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It's part of the lore, Pedro.
You're
I'm
better
trying to
than
bring
that.
logic into. I'm trying to bring logic into Pokemon again, aren't I?
Okay,
Sorry.
No, but
okay.
it's like it's something
Hold
we
on.
established since the very beginning.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. Carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, like it's been established in lore that when you turn 10, you get a choice of becoming a Pokemon trainer or just pursuing your typical education or whatnot here.
So
and there.
basically,
It's
what
as
you're
simple
saying,
as that.
Jova, is that there's no such thing as people with careers that not revolving around Pokemon, because any kid would choose to be a Pokemon trainer.
Actually, there are quite a lot of people who do choose to, just go your typical career and just become a Pokemon trainer later, or, people who just choose to become scientists around Pokemon instead of Pokemon trainers here and there. And, we've
I
had our
guess,
fair
sure.
share of characters who don't want to become Pokemon trainers or who are
All right.
terrified
Sure.
of Pokemon.
Carry on, Dej. Carry on.
But yeah, I did like how she's like, next time, please save the world closer to home. and then she regret, and the next movie happens. Oops.
Well, it was closer to home.
Well,
Kinda,
do you
sorta.
think that was meant to be built up, or it's just a weird coincidence that they didn't have?
I think it's a weird coincidence, but either way, she
Oh,
manifested this.
Yeah.
Okay. Assuming that 4Kids did have insider knowledge of it,
I think that
could
was
see
also in the
being-
Japanese version as well, wasn't it?
Oh, if that was in the Japanese version,
Let me
then
see what she says.
I'm willing to bet that if it was also in the Japanese version, that it was probably a little inside joke because they definitely would have known what they had in store.
If I remember correctly, in the Japanese version, she says basically the exact same thing. But carry on. I'm checking right now.
Yeah. Who wants to go next?
I'll
I
go
will.
next.
Yes, I'm checking right now that she
Oh.
says basically the same thing. There you go.
Yeah,
My
and the movie came out the same time in Japan. Oh, and the Pokemon 3 came out the same time as 2000 did in America.
I'm definitely gonna say that was a stealth for about a foreshadowing. But anyway, my favorite scene was the grand finale version of the song, where we see all the wonderful artistics going about, the water show going on, the birds calming down. It's the music that sells it. Oh, by the way, one shot of Lawrence just looking at it all awkwardly. I guess he's no longer gonna be a bad guy now. Screw you for nearly dooming us all for your collection. But yeah, no, that scene is beautiful overall. Definitely my favorite scene, and at least just feel like a reward that we properly earned, and unlike the first movie, won't magically forget about.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my favorite scene. Shiroi, what about you?
Well, just gonna call back to something I said earlier. Team Rocket actually getting things done. Because nobody else would.
Yeah, pretty much. Between the river raft and them literally sacrificing themselves to help Lugia speed up, they
Honestly,
contributed quite a bit.
Team Rocket was more useful than Lugia, to be honest with you.
And look, they did it for, selfish reasons, because they wanted credit for once, but they still helped. Genuinely helped.
Not only that, Shiroi, they were willing to die, too.
Yeah. They even made a note of that, twice. And all the other Pokemon just standing there, or swimming there. It's you could have done something, anything. Plenty of opportunities to help, but no, the villains had to do it.
Nah, we're just here to watch the madness unfold.
But no, that's my favorite. Team Rocket being useful, and considering I know they don't do much in these movies, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh god, Shiroi, wait till we get to Pokemon Heroes.
Oh my god. I have
Don't
stuff
even
to say about that. But
don't even get me started.
Pedro, go.
Yes. My favorite scene in this movie goes to I guess no. I can't even distinguish between both
You
versions
see,
because
you're confusing yourself. This is why we're not doing the English Japanese stuff anymore. Just say in general. It doesn't matter from now on.
Sure. Whatever. The point is, my favorite scene is the credits.
Oh
Why?
boy! Here we
Why?
go.
Because guess who Pokemon managed to get at the time, thanks to being at the peak of its popularity? They managed to get Donna freaking Summer to sing a song for this movie. A song that was made for this movie, by the way. It wasn't a song from her back catalog or anything. No. They had her come in, wrote a song for her, and had her record a song for it. And she's amazing. The movie does not deserve a song this amazing.
You want to mention the other popular song that came about?
Yes.
From this
Okay.
movie?
Can I just say this?
What?
I didn't know about that Weird Al sang a Pokemon song, and I
Everybody
tweeted out
Pokemon.
on Twitter, and everyone clowned on me saying, "How did you not know? How did you not know? How did
Like-
you not?"
It is literally one of the most popular things to come out of Pokemon, like, ever.
I've never heard of it. It's the first time.
Pokemon is so gleefully ridiculous and so absolutely fun that it's just wonderful. And there's also this really kind of melancholic song by the B-52s called "The Chosen One," where they go "Chosen One." It's the overall choice of songs that 4Kids did for this movie is just interesting. Like
Personally, I prefer the Shadow the Hedgehog version.
Okay, that's about it really. The credits,
Yeah.
just because those songs are so amazing.
All right,
And
then.
now let's go for the ranking.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Honestly, with time to think about it, like I said, I feel like this movie is on somewhat equal terms with the first movie. It doesn't have as high a high as the first movie, but it doesn't have the lows either. It toes the line. It does have some pretty good visuals, some pretty good lines. Melody was an interesting character. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It doesn't fail per se,
Alright.
but it doesn't excel either. It toes the line. It's a perfectly fine viewing experience, and if you want the full ride, go ahead and give it a watch.
Okay. Sure.
Full. It's just very. So quite a bit lower than where I ranked the first movie.
Yes,
sure,
yes
sure,
it is.
Sure.
For
If you're-
context, you gave the first movie a 7.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought it was
Sure,
a 6
sure.
or 7. It's a
That
7.
that movie was more fun and more interesting.
This movie just happens, but yes, Jova.
If you're ranking this one a 4, I can't wait to see how low you rank some of the actually really bad ones then, because
Like Pokemon Forever.
Pokemon
And it only
Forever,
gets the full
Pokemon
because
Heroes.
Team Rocket did something. Otherwise, this movie is just a straight line.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know how I'm gonna rank the other movies, to be honest. The way I rank things is weird anyway. But yeah, this gets a 4. It's there. It happened. Cool.
Okay
Next.
then.
Pedro.
My overall ranking, for all the reasons that I've already stated in my final thoughts, and I'm not going to repeat myself, I rank this just a very solid average 5 out of 10 because there is absolutely there's no reason to put it in the negative side of the scale because this movie doesn't even do enough for me to dislike it. It's just a movie that's just kind of there, and I'm just so passively watching it that I don't care about anything. This movie is just a very mediocre movie. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily good either. It's just a movie that just kind of exists, and who cares? There's so little entertainment value. It's just a very mediocre movie, bland as fuck. So 5 out of 10. That's what I'll have to say.
All Alright, and for me, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.
Really?
No, I'm giving it a 7. There are more highs than lows compared to the first movies, and I love Lugia's theme, so maybe that's the bias. And I really like Melody as a character, and the moment with Ash and his mom is sincere and good. So that's the only reason why I'm giving it a 7. Terrence is going to kill us once he listens to this.
Why?
So,
what would he rank it?
He loves this movie.
Oh, okay.
So I just realized the scores are 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Make sure to let him know about the fool.
So that
is a
Pokemon
total
2000
of 22.
out of 40. What was last
25.
movie's total score? Yeah.
You know,
Hey, Ben.
I'm just tempted to give it a 10 because I can't tolerate this. This is messed up.
It is what it is, Tej.
See, democracy is a joke.
It really is. Anyway.
Averages and all that. So, yeah, that was Pokemon 2000, everyone.
And I wrote something for the next one. Who wants to read it in an epic voice, narrator voice?
Sure, I'll do it.
All right.
Now that we're finished of the original series, it's time for the gang to go to a whole new world. Sorry. Now that we've finished the original series, it's time for the gang to go to a whole new world! The Johto region! New Pokemon, new characters, and Ash's mom is our main character! See you next time as we go see Pokemon 3, Spell of the Unknown, as the journey continues!
Oh boy, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah!
I'm
sure we'll all give this a good score.
Okay, cool.
See you
1 out of
next
10.
See you next time.
See you then.
See ya.
Yeah.
Give it a 4.
Yes, I gave the 4.